Many worry it will spread to Iowa. And later, Hancher has a full schedule of exciting events to look forward to.
A senior defensive back had an unforgettable return to Kenneck this past weekend. I'll tell you more in sports.
It may be football season, but the fall weather isn't here to stay. I'll tell you more in weather.
Coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Ashley Wheel. Texas has recently passed one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country. It bans abortion after 6 weeks and allows private citizens to sue anyone who helps someone get an abortion. Abortion rights activists worry that the precedent for Roe v. Wade is now at stake, and red states could be passing similar laws in the near future. News director Elizabeth Neruda tells us more about if Iowa abortion rights are next on the chopping block. Elizabeth, what is Iowa's history with laws restricting abortion access?
Currently, Iowa bans most abortions at around 20 weeks. For the past decade, abortion restrictions in Iowa have been a hot-button ticket for the legislature, including multiple attempts at a 72-hour waiting period before getting an abortion, a law that attempts to require multiple clinic visits before the termination, and Iowa's own fetal heartbeat bill that bans abortions at around 6 weeks. All of the above attempts have been blocked by the higher court, as opposed to the Texas abortion ban, which the Supreme Court has refused to block. Planned Parenthood advocates of Iowa attempt to see a law similar to that of Texas in the very near future.
And has there been any recent action by legislators in Iowa to change abortion laws?
Iowa Republicans in Congress, as well as Kim Reynolds, have joined in support of overturning Roe v. Wade, the landmark Supreme Court case that protects the right to abortion. This move has a lot of overall Republican support, as the Supreme Court is now currently stacked 6-3 conservative. As of 2018, the Iowa Constitution protects abortion as a fundamental right, but state Republicans have been trying to nullify this rule. A proposed amendment to the Constitution was passed earlier this year, but there is still a long way to go before a constitutional amendment is on the table. If anything occurs, this amendment will be on the ballot box as early as 2024, but if it does pass, Iowa abortion restrictions will very much be on the table, including a law very similar to Texas, and especially if the Roe v. Wade precedent is weakened.
Thanks, Elizabeth. 11 parents of students with disabilities filed a lawsuit that hopes to get rid of Iowa's mask mandate ban in schools. The lawsuit argues that the ban excludes students with disabilities from public schools. This limits their access to equal education, which puts it in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, is backing the lawsuit. ACLU of Iowa Legal Director Rita Bates Austin said, quote, "It is not fair to force kids out of school because they have health conditions and disabilities that put them at a higher risk of serious complications from COVID," end quote. Because children under the age of 12 are not yet eligible for vaccination, those with weakened immune systems are still at a heightened risk for catching COVID. And Hancher's 2021 season has a lot of exciting things coming up for students, including dance, music, and theater events. Some of these events to look forward to this semester include music from the Boston Pops, Waitress, a Broadway musical, and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Quintet. Hancher wants students to get the most out of their events. The hope is that their educational and community building aspects will help.
To create discussions and dialogue about diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, that's really very important to Hancher. We really want to make sure that we bring topics like this, we bring discussion, we bring action, because the theater, common experiences that people have together, that creates opportunities to be able to talk.
Hancher not only educates through performances, but also engages students through expert speakers from their fields. This includes a visit from Bill Nye, which is part of the lecture series. Since Hancher is a part of the university, they do follow university guidelines and cannot require masks, but have a strong custodial staff and recommend taking as many COVID-19 precautions as possible.
We highly, highly recommend wearing masks.
and Hancher is extremely excited for people to be back in the building, but want to make sure everyone is safe when experiencing all of these upcoming events. It was a long sunny weekend and bright start to this week. Let's toss it to Sarah Gala to see what the rest of this week will have in store.
Thanks, Ashley. Summer isn't ready to say goodbye yet. Today will be sunny with a high of 78 and with a low of 53. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny with a high of 77, and temps will hit a low of 52. Walking to class on Friday will be a struggle, Hawkeyes. Temperatures will move back into the high 80s and will continue into the weekend. It may not be fall football weather, but it is a perfect reason to stay inside and catch the Iowa State game. Let's start Tamara and O'Connor for the latest in Hawkeye football.
Senior defensive back Riley Moss had quite the game this weekend against the Indiana Hoosiers, and DITV sports reporter Michael Merrick tells us more about Moss's memorable weekend.
Many athletes like to imagine how a game is going to play out before they even step foot onto the field. But there is no way Riley Moss could have imagined this performance he would have this past Saturday. The senior defensive back recorded 2 interceptions and returned both of them to the end zone en route to Iowa's dominant 34-6 victory over the Indiana Hoosiers.
I was kind of sitting there and he threw the ball. I was ready to break on it and tackle him, and then I see the ball pop up and I got super excited. I was foaming from the mouth to catch the ball and take off. So it happened quick, and I didn't realize I scored a touchdown until I was on the bench. I was like, holy cow, that just happened. So
what a performance by him. That was such a great game. For Riley, and I couldn't be happier for him, more proud of him. It's a guy that comes every day, competes, and puts his heart in every single play, and it paid off today.
After coming off an incredible performance against Indiana, Moss received the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week, along with Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week honors. Given Moss's sharp instinct for finding the ball, one small mistake by Iowa State's offense this weekend could leave another opportunity for Moss to turn another game around. From Kinnick Stadium, I'm Michael Merrick, DITV Sports.
The Hawkeye women's soccer team finished their game on Sunday in a tough draw against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. In this double overtime match, grad student Alyssa Walker equalized the game with a stellar header deep into the second half.
Seeing that perfect flighted ball in from Addie come in, just finding it and seeing it roll down the back of the net, that's just super exciting in any game, especially when we were down a goal. So it felt really, really good to finally get a header off of a corner.
Despite a draw, the Hawkeye defense end still held the Bulldogs to only 3 shots on goal, while the Hawks had an impressive 19.
I think that technically we need to be cleaner with some of those opportunities. A lot of them were one-touch balls, and mentally be a bit sharper. So, but the reality is we had really great chances, and we'll learn from this and we'll work on it in practice.
The Hawks hit the road Thursday to face Kansas City in hopes to improve their win column from 6 to 7. The Iowa field hockey team dominated this weekend with 2 shutout wins against New Hampshire and Boston. The Hawkeyes pushed their winning streak back up 4-0 and are ranked 2nd in the nation. Senior midfielder Loki Strybaus led the team this weekend in goals, and senior goalie Grace McGuire continues to secure her personal shutout record. Their defense controlled the pace both games, holding both teams at a combined 5 shots, while the Hawkeyes had a combined 37 shots over the weekend. The Hawks return home this Friday to battle it out with Ohio State and St. Louis. Tune back in on Monday to see if the Hawks can push their winning streak to 6-0 this weekend. That's all for sports. Back to Ashley.
The late Chadwick Boseman's alma mater, Howard University, has renamed their College of Fine Arts after him. The college hopes to honor his legacy with the change. Boseman graduated more than 2 decades ago. The name change comes after a year after his fatal bout with colon cancer. Boseman was 43 years old. His family says he would have been overjoyed. Thank you for tuning in to DITV News. Head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news, and tune in to DITV Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. From Iowa City, I'm Ashley Wheel. Have a great day.